Let me tell you something. You care way too much about what people think, about what they say, about shit that doesn't even matter. And it's destroying your happiness. So let me be straight with you. Most of the things you stress over are completely pointless. You need to stop giving a fuck. Right now. Here's why. Constantly worrying about other people's opinions is a losing game. No one thrives by living their life trying to make everyone else happy. That endless overthinking, the constant second guessing, it's a complete waste of your time and energy. Let's dig into this. Why do you care so much? It's simple. You've been conditioned to. Since you were a kid, you were taught to play nice, to fit in, to seek approval from everyone around you. Your parents, teachers, society, they all programmed you to believe that being accepted was the ultimate goal. And now you're stuck. You hold back when you want to speak your mind. You stress out over tiny things. You go out of your way to avoid upsetting people. It's exhausting. And here's the truth. No matter what you do, some people will dislike you, some will criticize you, and most, they just won't care. So why the hell are you working so hard to please them? When you give too many fucks, you hand over control of your life. You let fear dictate your decisions. You let imaginary critics hold you back from taking risks and chasing what you want. And the worst part, you lose yourself. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no. Every time you hide your true self just to keep the peace, you chip away at your confidence. You betray yourself, little by little, until you barely recognize the person that is staring back at you in the mirror. That's the price of giving too many fucks. It's not just time wasted, it's your entire identity slipping away. So how do you stop giving a fuck? Here's the deal. First, accept this. People are going to judge you no matter what you do. Whether you stick to the safe route or take risks, someone will have an opinion. So you might as well do what you actually want. Second, ask yourself, does this really matter? If it won't affect your life in 5 years, it's not worth your energy. Third, remember that your time is limited. Every time you waste it, worrying about someone else's opinion, you're stealing that time from your own growth and happiness. Fourth, take action despite the fear. Confidence doesn't come from overthinking, it comes from doing. Push through the discomfort, and you'll realize how little those fears actually mattered. Lastly, remind yourself of this. Most people aren't paying attention to you. They're too busy worrying about their own shit. You're not the main character in their story. There's a man who spent most of his life trying to make everyone happy. He worked a job he hated because his family thought it was secure. He stayed in relationships he knew were toxic because he was afraid of being alone. And every time he thought about chasing his dream of starting his own business, he'd hear that inner critic say, "What if you fail? What will people think?" So he stayed stuck. One day, he hit rock bottom, burnt out, miserable, and filled with regret. That's when he made a decision. He stopped giving a fuck. He quit the job. He cut off the toxic people. And he finally started building the life he wanted. Sure, he faced criticism, and not everything went perfectly, but for the first time in years, he felt alive. The point? He had to lose everything to realize he'd been holding on to things that didn't matter in the first place. Don't wait until you hit rock bottom to make the same realization. You don't need anyone's permission to live your life. When you stop giving a fuck about things that don't matter, you take your life back. You start making choices that align with what you want, not what others expect of you. And that, my friend, is freedom. It's waking up every day knowing that you're living life on your own terms, not someone else's. If you keep chasing validation, you'll never truly live. So stop wasting time. Stop holding yourself back. The only person who needs to approve of your life is you. Now go do something that actually matters.